Yo, this is Edward369. I came to tell my vision once again. And today, I kind of wanted to be like support, I guess. Because, you could say like a lot of people are like lost, A lot of people don't really know what to do. And the first thing that I had to kind of realize is like who's the real enemy, bro? And I feel like most of the time it's really just us. We're like the one creating the enemies in the first place, you could say. We're like attracting them. We have like a mind state that thinks everyone is going against us, But at the end of the day, there's like, you could say there's things that we're doing that's attracting all of these things to us, And I kind of wanted to like go through it a little bit, what I kind of know, what I've been seeing, and all these type of things, And the first thing I had to do when I was on my journey, is to realize no one is coming after me, No one is against me, I had to realize that it's me, I was like doing things that would make people go against me in a way, because of the things I was doing. And I would, people usually blame it on the outside, because like you could say like we don't really see what we're really doing, because you could say like we're just used to it in a way, And there's a point in your life when something is gonna like, you could say like stop you. It's gonna be like, if you're going the wrong way, you could say that something is always gonna be like turn around, like always trying to tell you to turn around, and like actually look at yourself, type thing. But like what I wrote down right here, the first thing like you have to kind of like be conscious of is kind of like what are the things you're doing when no one's looking, when no one's around and there's no one to entertain, there's no one to like get their attention, what are you doing, type thing, And this is where the part when you could say God, he looks at the heart, and you could say when we like try to get people's attention by like doing good things just to get the attention, I feel like that's like you're going about it the wrong way, you could say, because you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it to get something out of it, And I feel like that's like a big thing that we have to like see, like what are we doing when no one's looking, because you could say like, yeah, we know how to dress up and like make ourselves look good, to everybody, and like put on a mask, and just tell everybody like, oh, I'm living the life, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, And sometimes you gotta like be true with yourself and be like, shit, I'm fucking up right now, I'm not doing it, Sometimes you gotta like be real with yourself too, bro. You can't just like keep lying to yourself and saying like, yeah, I'm doing good, like everything's gonna happen like perfectly, it doesn't matter, like blah blah, all positive vibes every day, blah blah, Sometimes you gotta get to that dark side first to be able to get to the light, because you could say when you're living in the dark and you're like, your life is like dark, you could say, like you're just depressed, you're like, you don't even want to like get up in the morning type thing, there's, you could say like there's a reason why you're in that state, because like you could say like the things that you're doing, the things that like your heart is not fulfilled, you could say. So it's like you're just going about life like not even caring type thing, And it's better to really take care of yourself before you even try to take care of anybody else, it starts within first, starts at home, you could say, starts right here. And I remember on my journey too, like, I always wanted to help people, I always wanted to, like, be the one to go up to someone and be like, hey, like, I got you, you don't gotta stress or whatever, But then when I would do that, I would, like, rob them of their learning, because I would just do it for them, and, like, of course I'm gonna be able to do it, you could say, you could say I know, but then if I do it for them, they'll never learn, so you gotta, like, kind of just let people do their own work. And that's, like, where I'm here, I want it to be, like, more simple for you to go through it, because you could say when you know how to do what you gotta do, then it's not hard to do because you already know how to do it, you're not, like, lost and all this type of things, And another thing to do is find the truth for yourself, because I feel like someone could tell us something and we just believe it, we just like, oh yeah, that's right, like, blah blah blah, and we don't, like, go in and search for ourselves, we just accept whatever someone says and, like, that's true, and I feel like a good thing to do so you don't have to doubt yourself, be doubtful, is to learn yourself, learn everything that you, like, that you don't know and that you want to know. You gotta learn it, you can't just be like, oh yeah, I know, and then just, like, say whatever and not know what the fuck you're saying, so you gotta learn, you gotta, like, know what it is before you can, do it, or even know it, the truth, know the truth about it, so you're not doubting, that's a good thing to do. Just know, like, find out yourself, don't, like, if someone tells you, you could be like, okay, like, I get it, yeah, but still go in and look and search for yourself, because you'll find more, you could say, details, and more, it'll be deeper, you'll understand, like, at a deeper level, spiritual level, you could say, yeah. And it all comes to, like, being impeccable with your word, I learned that when you say something and you do it, it's like your mind, your soul, and, like, your mind, body, and soul, they're all working on the same, like, they're all doing something to work together, you could say, and when we like, say something and we don't do it, it's like our body and our mind are not in coherency, they're not, like, aligned, they're not in the same mind space, you could say, they're not thinking of creating one thing, they're thinking of creating two different things, you could say, yeah, like, I'm thinking of this and I'm just gonna do this, and it's kind of like, it puts us on a different path, you could say. It, like, takes us, like, oh yeah, like, if you would have thought it and you would have did it at that point when you thought it, then you would be, like, flowing, you're just flowing with it. But if you're like, oh, I'm gonna think this, and then you go do something else, then you're like, your body's like, what the fuck, what am I doing, it's, like, stressful, and, like, you kind of gotta be, like, clear, if you're gonna say something, then do it. If you're not gonna do it, don't say it, type thing, and that's when you're impeccable with your word, so, like, and it gives you, like, an accomplishment, every time you say something, you do it, it makes you feel good, it makes you feel like, oh, I did that, I did what I said I was gonna do, and that will bring you up, type shit, and sometimes we gotta, like, see what our priorities are too, like, what is important to me, what do I really want to get done today, and you have to, like, see what your priority is, like, all right, I'm gonna do this thing, and that's, you could say, that's the priority of today, to do that. And once you, like, put your priorities straight, you get your priorities straight, then you will know, like, what to do, because, like, you could say, like, what you're doing isn't taking you to where you want to go, and then once you could say, you can get your things aligned, your priorities straight, you know what to do, what's more important, what's really important, then you'll do what's important instead of just doing whatever, you know. And yeah, sometimes we just forget about what we should do or what we're supposed to do, you know, and we just like we leave it for later, you know. And that's like, what are your real priorities? Your priorities are to just like chill and just do nothing. I mean, that's not my priority, but shit. I mean, it's. I mean, you could, when you feel good about what you're doing, then you'll know, you know. Because you could say like, oh, I could tell you what to do, blah blah blah. But everybody's journey is different, you know. We have to find it ourselves, bro. That's the hard part, you know. Doing the work ourselves, you know. Going in, you know. And I feel like during this journey, you know, we have to check ourselves, you know. Because I mean, someone could check you and then you won't understand shit. You'll be like, oh, like I'm right and you're wrong, you know, just because someone else is saying it to you, you know. But I feel like we have to be able to know what's right and wrong ourselves, you know, and choose whichever one we want, you know, because it's either you're doing good or you're doing bad type shit, you know. And you gotta kind of know where you want to go, you know, where you want your future to be, you know. Because you could say like, oh, I'm gonna just be bad, you know. I'm just gonna do whatever the fuck I want. I don't care what people think, you know. And I feel like that won't take you anywhere that you want to be, you know. And I feel like that's when you're like, oh, like maybe if I like switch up, maybe if I stop doing what I was doing before, maybe if I like switch how I think, you know. And it's a process, you know. It took me a while. I mean, it takes people a while, but you gotta start somewhere, bro. You gotta like be like, all right, today I'm gonna start, you know. It's not gonna be like, oh, tomorrow's I'm gonna start, and then tomorrow comes, and then you're like the next day, and then the next day, and then it's like it never comes to fruition because you never even start on the first day, you know. And then once you actually start on the first day, you're like way fucking behind. Like motherfuckers are like up here, and you're like still trying to climb, you know. But you know, everybody's on their own timing and shit, you know. And you're where you are for a reason, you know. You can blame everybody else for like, oh, I'm here, blah blah blah. You put me here. You did this to me. You said this to me, blah blah blah. You know. And you could really say that I know for sure it's that you're where you are for a reason. We're here for a reason. Like, you chose to be in this spot. You make choices throughout your day, throughout your life, you know. And your choices bring you to where you are today, you know. All your choices that you've made through your life, you know, they've put you where you are right now, you know. And that's kind of scary, bro. Like, you know, like, because I feel like we blame everybody else, bro. You can be like, oh, like, that is their fault, blah, blah, blah. Everybody else's fault but you know. But you could say that we all have the right to be free and to do what we choose to do, you know. And I feel like that's where, like, the real enemy comes out, you know. We think it's out there, bro. We think it's everyone else, you know, until we actually, like, really see, like, damn, like, shit, I'm the reason why I'm right here today, you know. I accepted all these, I put myself here, bro. Because you could say, like, yeah, you don't have to accept a conversation with someone. You can just be like, okay, I don't want to talk, you know. Or you can just do certain things differently, you know. You chose to be in the spot that you are, you know. And you could say it's all right to be where you are. Because you could say, like, every situation is like a lesson until you actually learn it, you know. So if you're, like, going through it still, all you gotta do is just learn what you're freaking missing, you know. You gotta, like, okay, like, fuck, okay, I keep, like, right for me, like, I would just smoke so much, you know, just smoke. And I didn't even know why I was smoking at this point, because I would just smoke, And I'll be like, damn, I just want to smoke again. And it's like, I'm not even getting like how I used to feel, you know. It's just like repeated, like, oh, I'm smoking, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I realized that I'm like hurting myself more than I'm actually trying to do good for myself, you know. I'm like digging myself deeper in a way, you know. And you could say like I didn't even realize I had that problem, you know, that I was just smoking a lot, you know. But it's like I like started to like clear everything, you know, clear everything like I'm starting to see it, you know, pop up out of me, you know. And then it was like, okay, like now here's something that you haven't seen, you know. And it's just like boom, like right in my face too. And I'm like, okay, like now I gotta deal with this part now, you know, because that's like my journey, and I gotta deal with this. And it's like we're all on different levels type shit. And it's like, okay, now I have to, like, if I want to progress in my life, then I have to make this decision right now, you know, type thing, to like stop like self sabotaging yourself, you know. Stop putting yourself in spots where you like you complain after, you know. You're gonna be like, wow, like why am I here, blah blah blah. And it's like, bro, do you not remember what you did like yesterday type shit, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like, yeah, you're there for a reason, man. Sometimes you gotta just start seeing what you're doing, man, and put the pieces together, you know. Yeah. And I've always learned to like always do something that your future self is gonna thank you for, you know. And you could say like, I mean, what I do, and I'm like in the future, I'm like, oh, I'm thankful I did that, you know. I'll be like doing some like exercise. I like when I make these videos, when I'm like doing like these little shit, when I'm like writing and shit, you know. And it's like when I like in the future, like after I did that, I like think back like, oh, I'm thankful that I did that, you know. Because if I didn't, you know, I would like be behind, you know. I wouldn't have learned what I learned now, type thing, you know. So it's like always do something that your future self will thank you for, you know. Just think like right now, like me stopping to smoke, like I feel like me in the future is gonna be like, damn, I'm so happy that you stopped smoking, man. I'm so happy that you stopped like with these, you could say like addictions, bro. Like that was something that I didn't even think I had, you know. I mean, I knew I had like an addictive mindset, like everything I like get, or everything I like, man, it's like I can't stop having it, you know. So I would like little by little, you know. It's not like one day you stop, you know. It's like it's a process, man. You gotta like start day one, you know. That's when it all really starts, man. You gotta take that first step, man. And shit, that's where we are now. Shit, I'm not perfect either. I'm just being myself right now, man. That's all you need, man. Someone just gonna be real, you know. And to conclude this video, you know, if you want to defeat the outside enemy, you gotta defeat the enemy inside first, you know. So if you're like all these enemies outside, once you defeat the enemy inside, all the enemies outside disappear. All the problems, all that stuff just disappears, man. And that's when you go within. That's the only way to go within, man. I can't say it enough, because I feel like people still don't understand that. But you know, I pray that you could say that God, he shows people, you know, he'll just do what he has to do, you know. Because at this point, you know, I'd rather just talk to the people that are actually gonna listen to me and like understand what I'm saying, you know. And yeah, I guess that's you. And this is Edwell 369. Came to tell my vision once again.